Recently, there has been an ongoing debate of state regulation of religious urban spaces in Singapore. On one hand, religious organizations want to have their own sovereignty to worship, and on the other hand, the state of religious pluralism in Singapore has caused the government to take a secular approach to the management of religion, and they seem to exert a certain sense of strain and stress over each other. I expect a topic as profound as this to be equally balanced on both ends of the academic argument. But it seems quite contradictory. It is a norm nowadays to take a critical stance against the government for the restriction of spaces of worship, almost in a sense of way that it is killing religion. But is the matter merely as simple as that? This video essay will examine the regulation of religious spaces in Singapore through an ethnographic and historical study of the God Tree Shrine in Toa Payoh. Before we get into the whole argument of religious urbanism, a quick introduction of our case study is necessitated. So this is the God Tree Shrine located at the heart of Toa Payoh neighborhood. It is said that the tree has been around for almost 100 years and currently houses the four-faced Buddha and the Goddess of Mercy. Legend has it that the tree is immovable. One account claims that a bulldozer once tried to run it down, and let's just say it didn't turn out very well for the driver. However, in 2013, the monumental tree unfortunately collapsed due to a heavy storm, and talks of conservation have been set in place. On one hand, the NParks organization wasn't willing to prep it up due to safety encumbrance, while the community were adamant on the restoration of the tree. Eventually, the Toa Payoh Merchants organization funded about $100,000 to prep it up. It is now merely a shadow of its glorious past, losing most of the tree's lusciousness and canopy. So you must be wondering, where is the problem in all this? On one hand, we have practitioners that were fighting for the restoration of this tree, and then on the other hand, we have people who were practitioners as well who wouldn't have minded the tree being removed. Some even consider it a blessing for the tree to have fallen. This brings to light the following question. Are practitioners really in the best position to argue against the state regarding their dominance of urban redevelopment of religious spaces? And how valuable is the sanctity of a specified place for religious practice? Buddhism is a religion known for its paraphernalia and iconography, suggesting a religion that gives human ascription to otherwise secular objects. Initial appearances seem to suggest so for our case study. I mean, look at it. There's a big tree. But from my observation and interactions with the people of the community, I observed that the tree itself doesn't participate in much, or I say any form of ritualistic practice. Even on-site interviews leave a mystifying and vague opinion of the spirituality and sanctity of the tree, such as, it is just important lah, or tradition. Taking an assumption that the two propositions of this argument on religious spatial issue are the practitioners and the state itself, this is some huge ground to question the validity of the proposition for the practitioners. If the practitioners cannot substantiate the reason why the tree should be prepped up, why should the state give in the allocation of space to them? But don't get me wrong over here. My argument isn't to say that the practitioners were unjustified in prepping up the tree, but rather I'm throwing in some evidence to complicate the matter. To really understand the matter at hand, the conceptualization of religious urbanism is key. So according to Orlando Woods, religious urbanism is the concept whereby urban environments play an active role in shaping the praxis of religion. What this means is that space and religion are very closely intertwined. How so? Well, for starters, every religious organization needs some form of space to worship. However, given Singapore's controlled regulatory context of spaces, religious organizations are either adopting or are being pressured to adopt more pragmatic forms of spatial reproduction that lead to the secularization of space. Given Singapore's multi-religious paradigm, to accommodate space for enough religions, there has to be some form of regulatory mechanisms in which there is some segmentation of space. Furthermore, as I've mentioned regarding the dissonance within the practitioners, this isn't to say that they are flippant or unsure of their stance, but rather this serves as a manifestation of the pervasive nature of secularism encroaching even onto religious organizations. What this means is that even religious groups are realizing that they have to adopt secular logics in response to the pressures of urban environments. Taking into example the tree shrine again, through secondary research, I found that the tree serves not so much a spiritual, material, and ritualistic aspect, but a symbolic one, tied directly to the community than the religion. So, can this religious organization exist even without the tree? Quite possibly so. But that's not for me to decide. My main argument is that even a traditional religion such as this one is beginning to adopt a secular approach to the management of its space. Religion constructs the space around us as much as it is constructed by it. It's just the nature of Singapore being so small that there has to be certain form of regulatory practice of the management of the spaces of religion. Instead of achieving any form of lasting sacredness such as the ascription of human ideals to the tree, the practitioners even acknowledged that the tree had to be trimmed for better management of it. At the end of the day, all we can agree on is that this matter is not as simple as it seems. And that is my video essay. Thank you for watching.